What if I told you the next story of Seasons game could actually beat every single one that came before it? And no, I'm not talking about nostalgia. I mean bigger world, wild new features, bizarre chaos, double jumps, gliders, wind-powered everything. You think I'm exaggerating? I wish I was, but to really explain why I think Grand Bazaar is about to become the best story of Seasons game yet, we need to talk about one small, slightly forgotten CS game from 2010 and why this remake could completely change the future of the series. Okay, picture this. It's Saturday morning in Zephyrtown, the air smells fresh, and you've been hoarding turnips, flowers, bugs, and fish all week like a feral dragon guarding its hoard, and today is a bazaar day. The goal: sell so much stuff that the town has no choice but to expand the market, which means more shops, better goods, and basically you becoming the Jeff Bezos of vegetables. And there's no magical shipping bin this time to just throw things into and have them disappear overnight. No, you are the salesperson. You pitch your goods, you haggle with townsfolk, you charm regular customers, and it's chaos. Glorious chaos. All week you're frantically prepping. Milking cows, watering crops, chasing bugs like a maniac, just so you can turn Saturday into a coin-filled victory lap while having storage limitations. Yeah, it's exhausting, it's stressful, and it's one of the most satisfying gameplay loops I've ever experienced in a farming sim. But here's the thing, as much as I loved it, Grand Bazaar was simple and very tiny. The map? Small. Your farm, the waterfall area, the hotel, the bazaar square, and that was basically it. You would finish your chores in the morning and then you would realize that you had nothing left to do, and then you would spend the rest of the day just existing, catching bugs, and hoeing around. And that simplicity meant that the game kind of slipped through the cracks in the Harvest Moon / Story of Seasons timeline. It wasn't bad, actually far from it. The game was amazing. It was just small. But it's also one of the personal favorites of some people for this fun idea and simplicity that it has, me included. This one is one of my personal favorites and my go-to comfort game. And honestly, all of this is part of why this remake excites me so much, because let's be real, the 3DS era was the peak of Story of Seasons for many of us. Tree of Towns? Chef's Kiss, still one of the most beloved entries to date, and yes, my personal top favorite of all time. I will die on this hill. Tree of Towns gave us Wayne, Ludus, and the Greatest Not So Great Twins, and festivals known to man. Then came the Switch and Steam era, which wasn't bad, but it was kinda lacking in some ways, let me explain. We had Friends of Mineral Town remake, Pioneers of Olive Town, and A Wonderful Life remake. The remakes looked better and had some gameplay tweaks, but for a lot of players they didn't feel modern enough. The nostalgia worked for longtime fans like me that spent hours and hours and hours on these games. But newer players, yeah, they wanted something fresher with more to do and more systems to explore. And Pioneers... we will get into Pioneers of Olive Town later, but it was good in many aspects and bad in many aspects. And this is where Grand Bazaar is perfect, because it had a fun core idea, but it was small, which means Marvelous can now expand it massively without having to rip apart a beloved, already big game. And one thing we can notice in the remake is the world. It's bigger, and not just slightly bigger, no, it looks alive with more shops, more verticality, more reasons to wonder. The double jump is still here, thank you Marvelous, but now we've got a glider. And the glider isn't just random, no, it ties back to one of the original systems, which was wind power. In the DS game, wind wasn't just, oh, it's breezy today. No, it literally affected your production speed. The town has 3 windmills, fermenting, manufacturing, and grinding windmills. And they were very important because you needed to process everything you had so you could sell everything for more money in the bazaar. Slow wind? Yeah, it meant that your items would take longer to process. Strong wind? Yeah, you're zooming through orders. Now picture the mechanic, but expanded. Now imagine the glider being faster or slower depending on wind conditions. Also imagine planning your day to protect your crops from winds. And also imagine planning your day around catching the perfect gust to sail across rooftops. Cause yes, now you can climb onto rooftops. Yes, which means movement and exploration just got a lot more fun. And we have to talk about the bazaar itself, cause in the original it was already so much fun, but imagine what they can do now with upgraded systems, bigger stalls, more customization, seasonal themes. Yeah, the potential here is actually ridiculous. Plus, now harvest sprites are helping with sales, and they weren't in the original, so we don't know exactly how they're going to help yet. But I'm already imagining tiny magical assistants upselling my tomatoes like it's Black Friday. The characters are also getting the glow up they deserve. We've got 2D portraits back also, thank god, because yeah, we were needing those portraits back, yes. And character models that feel alive. Most designs stick close to the original, just cleaned up a bit, because yeah, I think the backlash from some characters from Friends of Mineral Town really got too marvelous and they chose to stick to the original designs for the next remakes, which I thank them very much, just improving a bit and changing a few characters that had a poor design choice while making others look more mature, which is also welcome. And then Marvelous went and added 2 new marriage candidates. Yeah, Arata and Diana. And listen, Arata? Yeah, this man walked into the trailer and half the fandom forgot how to breathe. He has the exact energy of, I just came back from the mountains where I was training my falcon and now I'm here to sweep you off your feet. And if this man proposes to me in-game, yeah, I'm saying yes without hesitation, even if my farm is on fire in the background. Also, we have full voice acting for story and hard events, both in English and Japanese dub. And my boy Ivan, yeah, in the Japanese dub, now he's voiced by the same actor as Megumi from Jujutsu Kaisen, and that alone has sold me, okay, bye. Also from the trailer, we can see that we have a lot more variety of livestock. We've got more cow types, chickens, sheep variations, yeah, awesome. And pets are still here to herd animals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this means that yes, we are continuing to proud tradition of pet labor exploitation. And one of my favorite little details, cameos from other Story of Seasons games. Yes, we've got Rufio and Matsuba from the original Story of Seasons and Tree of Towns, probably as Animal and Harvest Festival judges, yes. My baby boy Pierre is also back to judge the cooking contests. Rebecca from A New Beginning might be selling building or decoration blueprints, and Charles from Hero of Leaf Valley is also here to do God knows what, but he's hot, so he's welcome. I wouldn't be surprised if we have more villagers living in town. We had like very few villagers living in the original game, so yeah. Maybe we might be getting more villagers, or I'm reading way too much into it, but that's half the fun. But okay, here's my case. Marvelous has learned a lot since Pioneers of Olive Town. They tried big systems in that game before, but they lost some of the soul that Harvest Moon Story of Seasons always had, and what makes it my favorite series of games. The little details, the polished interactions that made you fall in love with the town and its characters, the sense of community. And Grand Bazaar gives them a chance to change that, expand smartly, and keep that heart. They can experiment, test new mechanics, and carry those lessons into future remakes. So when we do get the Animal Parade or Magical Melody remakes, they are absolute perfection as they deserve. When they first announced this remake, I was very surprised and very emotional. It was very unexpected. We were all waiting for bigger games, and first I was like so grateful because I know this game deserved a remake so bad, and now I think that this was a genius move. Because if they can make the Bazaar Chaos bigger, the world richer, the characters even more lovable than before, while keeping the serious heart intact, we might not just get the best remake, we might be getting the best Story of Seasons game ever. And honestly, I am so ready. But what are your thoughts? Are you as excited as I am for this release? Cause I'm going crazy, I'm going feral, I'm almost climbing my walls in anticipation. And get ready, cause next video we're gonna talk about the marriage candidates, because the amount of times I've played this game like is crazy, so I know them like the back of my hand, and you can prepare to know who you will be marrying. Now go forth, stay hydrated, and remember, life is short, to not glide into town like Batman. See you in the next harvest. Bye bye!